April 27th, 2026, episode 632. This is episode 632. Let's go. Of course, I have a few things to share with you guys. Shall we? Brutal and calculated. Oregon woman who shot ex-husband in rectum sentenced.
In the early hours of August 2nd, 2021, a 911 call comes in from a local home in North Bend, Oregon. Inside the home on Stanton Avenue, they find Dr. Craig Jackson, a local physician, shot and killed. At first glance, it looks like a home invasion gone wrong, but investigators quickly realized this was anything but random. Authorities say two individuals entered the home around 3 a.m. They confronted him inside, and during the encounter, he was shot and killed. Nothing appears stolen. There was no signs of a typical burglary. This was targeted.
Right off the bat, they found DNA evidence along with a hand-drawn map of the home in her vehicle. That's how she started the first quarter of the investigation. Nothing screams premeditated like a macaroni art map of the property in a murder suspect's car. Then come to find out during the investigation, she forged a $40,000 check in an attempt to purchase property back in her native home of Guatemala. Her intentions were very clear here. A lot of people are going to look back and wonder why this wasn't first degree. An Oregon woman will spend the rest of her life behind bars for the murder of her ex. There seems to be a lot of that going around lately. A Coos County jury convicted 46-year-old Raina Jackson of second-degree murder this week following a 3-week trial for the death of her former husband in 2021. Dr. Craig Jackson served this country, built a career dedicated to caring for people, and was building a new life for himself and his daughter. Damn, said Oregon Attorney General Dan Rayfield. What happened to him was brutal and calculated. His family deserved justice, and the sentence reflects the gravity of what was done. Dr. Craig Jackson, Raina's ex-husband and a physician at Bay Clinic in Coos Bay, was shot and killed in his home in North Bend on August 2nd, 2021. The couple recently had a contentious divorce, and Dr. Jackson was granted full custody of their daughter.
The trial is underway for Raina Jackson. She's charged with second-degree murder in the killing of her ex-husband, Dr. Craig Jackson, inside his home in August of 2021. But the defense says it's actually his then-wife, Amy Jackson, who's guilty of his murder.
Actually, her defense put up a not so bad argument because they found divorce papers at the crime scene. Then, along with doing some digging, they discovered that the new marriage was on the rocks as well. But here's the issue. In any case, you can't just up and kill your problems, ladies. You can't just throw a lit stick of dynamite at them. You can't just douse them in gasoline and push them into a fireplace. The world doesn't work that way. We have to face problems like adults. Then after the killing, she fled to Guatemala with her daughter before eventually being tracked down and arrested in Atlanta in 2023. That doesn't make her look good either. That didn't help her defense either. Evidence submitted by the state at trial suggested that Raina conspired with two others to carry out the attack. According to a memo from prosecutors, Raina broke into her ex's home with two others in the middle of the night and fought with him in his bedroom. She was already on probation for the same exact thing, breaking in his home and fighting him and assaulting him. She shot him in his rectum. It says she shot him in his rectum and then through his head. His new wife, who had been lying in bed with him when Raina and the others entered, said she had quickly rolled off the bed and hid underneath it. When she believed it was safe, she came and found her husband shot and lying in the hallway. It doesn't specify if he was dead or dying. All it specified was that there was a phone call made at 3:27 a.m. to 911 emergency services. sources. Police later found a hand-drawn map of Dr. Jackson's home and Raina's vehicle and DNA evidence of two unknown men who are believed to accompany her. She was also on probation for previously breaking into his home and assaulting him, as I said.
Prosecutors painted the picture of a happy couple that met at university in Guatemala and married in 2008, but by 2016, they say the marriage deteriorated, leading to divorce. The state claims Raina was angry that $5,000 a month in spousal support was ending.
What especially stood out to me is that she didn't even plan it to look like a robbery or some other special type of home invasion, something that looks completely random. She wanted it to be known exactly what was going on here, and she wanted to be central to whatever happened. Reports say that she initiated the divorce. That's very important to this story because the man's a respected doctor in his community. How did she expect this to play out? The $5,000 a month in spousal support was about to dry up very soon, as it should. Then comes that very strong possibility of her maybe being on child support. She gambled and she lost. Just before Raina was arrested, she withdrew her daughter from school and fled to Guatemala. Now, her defense was okay. It wasn't perfect, but these type of things really cripples her defense. If she was trying to say that the new wife was the one that killed Craig Jackson, she was later arrested in Atlanta after returning to the U.S. on June 10th, 2023. And I'm positive that had she stayed in Guatemala, they would have sent some unnamed, unknown, unbadged people to drag her ass right back here to American soil. According to court documents obtained by KOIN6 News, Dr. Jackson's family believes Raina forged a check in his name for $40,000, jeez, and used the money to purchase land for herself in Guatemala. The check posted a few days after his death. Now, what normally happens is when you report somebody dead, the credit card agencies and the banks are on the lookout for this type of activity. Raina was sentenced to life in prison with no possibility of parole for at least 25 years. She has to do at least 25 years solid before they even start talking about parole. Of course, I love to hear your thoughts on this. I love to hear your opinions on this. We know she got the 25 years with no parole, but do you still think she should have got first-degree murder? New York woman convicted for throwing dynamite, and I ain't talking about good times, at boyfriend blowing off his hand as he tried to get rid of it.
And this Deer Park woman on your screen was convicted of throwing an explosive device into her boyfriend's bedroom while he was sleeping. Prosecutors say Kiana Waddle threw what looked like a burning stick of dynamite in his room after an argument. The victim tried to put it out and throw it away, but before he could, it exploded in his hand. Waddle faces 25 years in prison now.
See, this isn't just a little bit of friendly DV to fill in the quiet time within the boundaries of your relationship. This man lost his hand and part of his arm over an argument, a spat with his girlfriend. I mean, look at Sweetie here. There is no amount of flowers that can wipe that level of villain off her face. This is exactly why Klay Thompson was right. 100%. You get the hell out of there if you see something on the horizon. A New York woman, not even the cool part of New York, Gross, was convicted after authorities said she threw a handmade stick of dynamite at her boyfriend while he was sleeping, causing his hand to be blown off as he attempted to get rid of the explosive. Where did she get the dynamite from? It doesn't explicitly say that she manufactured it, that she put it together with some prior knowledge of bomb making, and I haven't heard of someone getting blown up by dynamite since Looney Tunes. Kiana Waddell, 35, the angel, the sweetheart herself of Deer Park on Long Island, was found guilty by a jury on Friday of first-degree assault and first-degree criminal possession of a weapon in connection with the March 2024 incident, not attempted murder, because she did intend to kill him. Waddell had threatened the victim with dynamite several times in the months leading up to the incident, according to the Suffolk County District Attorney's Office. Listen, relationships are nothing but a series of threats at their core. You can only sleep with somebody and eat with somebody so many times during the day, but exchanging threats, you can do that 24/7. That is where the love language lies. But if your girlfriend says she's going to blow you up with dynamite, she doesn't say she's going to leave you or whatever her regular go-to card is in an argument. She says specifically that she's going to blow you up with dynamite. It's giving I didn't have dynamite then, but I do have dynamite now. You might have to take inventory of your relationship. Domestic violence can escalate to deadly levels. Well, it can. It doesn't mean it always does. It's not like it's written in stone or something. It's not like it's guaranteed. I'm kidding. In this case is a sobering reminder of that reality. Suffolk County District Attorney Raymond Tierney said in a statement, it wasn't domestic violence until she blew him up. All the way up till then, it was just a couple having a few spirited discussions. After the dispute, the man left the apartment and told Waddell to leave. I think it's safe to assume that it was his apartment. He told her to leave. Me personally, I would have seen her out the door and made sure it was locked behind her. And it also tells you that he was trying to diffuse the situation, trying to cool things down. And apparently, according to what followed after this, she was a lot more mad at him than he was at her. When he arrived back home, Waddell did not appear to be there, and he went to sleep. He was later woken up by a hissing sound and noticed a flame on the floor of his bedroom. He then realized that a stick of dynamite had been thrown into his bedroom and attempted, is this a dream or what, to toss the explosive device out the window, but it detonated and blew off most of his hand before he was able to throw it out of harm's way. Now, I can't sit up here and tell you what I would have done and what I wouldn't have done. This is split second thinking here, but I probably would have went to get out of the way. I probably wouldn't even have touched it. There's something about her that reminds me of Vanessa Huxtable. Can you imagine waking up still half asleep and seeing a lit stick of dynamite in the middle of your room? You mean to tell me she wasn't just talking crap for these past several months? She really had dynamite? Too late, boom. This was just his girlfriend. Imagine if it was his actual wife. There probably wouldn't be anything left to recognize. The victim then ran out of his home to the driveway, at which point he seen Waddell running away with that red patent leather jacket shining like a beacon in the night. He was subsequently rushed to the hospital where the remainder of his hand and part of his arm were amputated. This poor guy, man. Waddell was arrested the following day. Officials said her sentencing is scheduled for May 27th, and she could face up to 25 years in prison. Thanks to the outstanding work of our prosecutors and the Suffolk County Police Department, a dangerous individual has been held accountable and will face a lengthy prison sentence for this horrific act, Tierney said in this statement. Of course, I love to hear your thoughts on this. I love to hear your opinions on this. She is the real boogie woman. You have to check under your beds and search the closets after an argument now to make sure your girlfriend doesn't get any ideas from this. I have a question though. Would you have taken your girlfriend serious if she kept threatening to blow you up or shoot you or harm you in any matter? Could you afford to? Fun show, fun show, fun show. The music for this episode is from Iggy Beats. Get your music from Iggy Beats. I'll leave the contact information down here at the bottom. If you're a producer and you would like to have your music featured on an episode of this podcast, reach out to me on any one of my socials. Don't forget to follow me on all my socials. Find me wherever you listen or watch your favorite podcast. I am there. That being said, I'm going to wrap this one up, but I'll be sure to talk to you guys very, very soon. Jusqu'à la prochaine fois. You can't just throw a lit stick of dynamite at them. You can't just douse them in gasoline and push them into a fireplace. The world doesn't work that way. We have to face problems like adults.